Hi guys, welcome to another episode of KSP Book Club. Today we have with us Shachii Manik, who is the author of Magic Potion and Love Okay Please. And more importantly, she's a mother of two boys who love to read. Both of them are about 8.5 and 10. So welcome Shachii and thank you so much for joining us.
Hi Mansi, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, Shachii, so do you want to take us through books that you would recommend for our readers and books that your kids have been reading?
Sure, I'll do that. First of all, boys, to have them sit down and read is a challenge, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
Yes.
But I've been lucky. They love to read, and we've been through now almost 10 years of reading.
Okay.
So I'll start with a couple of favorites that we had when they were little.
Okay.
So when they were about 3, we used to read this book called Gajapati Kulapati by Ashok Rajgopalan. That's been our favorite, and we still pick it up once in a while, even now.
Right.
Because it's got really simple words. It's got like lots of words that make sounds like pachak and things like that, and achoo for a big sneeze. So it's about this elephant who catches a cold, and can you imagine how big an elephant sneeze can be?
Yeah, this is one of our favorites too.
Yeah, so it talks about how the villagers then end up helping the elephant get rid of his cold. And look at the illustrations, they're beautiful. Every page, I mean, you can easily spend 5 minutes on every page looking just at the pictures.
Yes.
So we loved this book while they were growing up. And it has been one of our favorites since. Then they grew a little older, and as most kids, they got really fussy about eating food. So I found this gem at the bookshop. It's called A Silly Story of Bondapalli.
Yes.
And the word silly caught my attention right away because I think I survive on silly. So this is by Shamin Padamsi, and the pictures are by Ashok Rajgopalan again. So it's beautifully illustrated. It's got really simple pictures and simple words. And it's all about this boy, the prince, who was so fussy about eating until one day they discover the bonda. And then he just keeps eating bondas all day long. And all the villagers then keep eating bondas, and they all turn the size of bondas and the shape of bondas. So the words are really funny. And the entire story where then this fat army has to actually fight lean, mean soldiers from another country, and then how they end up winning. So it's a great story and a great concept and silly at the same time. So we've loved this book as well while they were growing up. Then there is the ageless Tinkle comics. I think there is not enough importance or enough weightage given to Tinkle anymore. We've grown up reading Tinkles, and my kids are still enjoying Tinkle. So I would suggest to every mother to subscribe to Tinkle. A, because it has really short stories. So for people who say, oh, we can't, we don't have half an hour to sit down and read, well, you need 5 minutes to pick up the Tinkle, read one of the stories. And these stories range from all sorts of things, from history to, again, silly stories. Supandi, everybody knows Supandi and his jokes. So they have a lot of informative stuff in here as well.
Right.
So this is one thing I highly recommend. Then as the kids grew older, I realized they were interested in a lot of history. They'd love to ask me about, things that happened in the past, and they love kings and queens and, the whole war kind of scenarios, as boys always do. And that's when we discovered Natasha Sharma's History Mystery series.
Yeah.
So it's a series of 4 books about Akbar, Ashoka, Raja Chola, and Razia.
Okay.
So and Natasha's style of writing is amazing. It is so interesting. It is so funny at the same time, and it gives so much information through these books. So we've read and reread these books.
Okay. So you can repeat history. It doesn't get too boring for the boys, does it?
Absolutely not, because these books have certain anecdotes which are slightly fictional but based on historical facts. But
Okay.
she's made it so interesting, and we actually laughed out loud reading some of the chapters in this book. So, if they're being introduced to chapter books, when they're about 6, 7, this is a great place to start.
Okay.
Got few pictures, um, and it's got chapters, and it's a short book to start with.
Right. So, what age would you recommend Natasha's books for? Like, what history mystery series? What age group?
Mystery series, I'd say, maybe 7 plus would be ideal for
So
them
they
to
should
read
be
by themselves.
independent readers.
Sorry?
They should be independent readers by then.
Yeah, but if they are kids, 6 year old kids would love to listen to these stories if they're not independently reading yet.
Okay. And what age group would you recommend for the Tinkle?
For the Tinkle, honestly, the pictures and everything, if you are reading to your child,
It doesn't.
5 years plus would be great.
Okay. Okay.
Because stories are really simple and there are pictures to keep them engaged, So 5 years plus Tinkle would be perfect.
Okay. Awesome.
And these days, my kids are now 8.5 and 10.5, and they have gotten introduced to Percy Jackson.
Okay.
So this is what they're completely immersed in Greek mythology right now. Everything in our house is about Greek gods.
Okay.
So Percy Jackson is by Rick Riordan.
Mm-hmm.
It's about a boy who turns out to be half god,
Okay.
so like one of the children of the Greek gods, and how he has to then fight monsters and demons to protect the other demigods and things like that. So it's fiction based on a lot of Greek mythology.
Okay.
So when they picked this up, then they started asking me so many questions about Greek mythology, and I was in a fix. I didn't know what to do. So then they themselves go to the library and pick up books like this about other books about Greek gods and
Okay.
Greek minotaurs
Right.
and Hercules. So
Okay.
these are like on the side that they're reading,
Okay.
just to get more information about these Greek gods.
Okay. Shachii, which is the library that you visit? Which is like your favorite
We
one?
are members at M Cube Library here in Bandra,
Okay.
and they
And
have a great collection of all sorts of children's books.
awesome.
Um,
And favorite bookstore?
um, Not one specifically, honestly. It's
No.
we can walk into any bookstore and find something that we like.
Was it hard? This is a question that all moms keeps ask. All parents actually keep asking. How do you get boys to read? I mean, they will often complain that they don't even sit in one place. Forget about reading a book. So how did you guys manage?
So I think we started with really short stories because they have a very short attention span. You're right about that. So we start with short stories that catch their interest. If you realize, and they have phases in their lives, right? Oh, today I'm interested in cars. Tomorrow I'm interested in. So you've got to take that clue and find a story around something that they like.
Okay.
It's a challenge for parents. I see that. But
Right.
I'm sure if you observe your child, you can, pick up on what they like and then read to them about those things. And
Right.
that's when they'll start getting interested. And there have been late bloomers, kids, the boys who started reading only after they were 12, 13 years. So don't lose hope.
Okay.
My husband himself says that he started reading only when he was 12, and he's an avid reader now. He won't put down a book.
Okay.
So don't worry about it. If
Don't
they're
worry.
not reading a little, I'm sure they'll start when they're older.
Awesome. And Shachii, do you want to tell us about your books?
Yeah, so my husband and I, we love to make up our own stories for our kids. So we
Okay.
came up with the story of the magic potion.
Okay.
We decided to write it down,
Okay.
and a cousin of ours helped illustrate it.
Mm-hmm.
So then we managed to create a book out of it. It's a story about a boy and 3 witches and a magic potion.
Okay.
and it's entirely written in a rhyming format,
Hmm.
which kids love to read, and I mean, it just keeps their attention throughout till the end of the book. It's about the adventure of a boy who steals the magic potion, and then what happens to him.
Hmm.
With the illustrations and everything, it makes a great read.
Okay.
And then the other book I have is called Laugh Okay Please.
Okay.
It's published by Scholastic and done in collaboration with Fun Okay Please. It's
Okay.
a book of original jokes. Like I said, I survive on silly. So I try to find jokes that are happening all around me, and luckily I happen to write them down.
All right.
And so if you get a hold of this book, go ahead and find it.
And Shachii, any books that you would recommend, especially for boys? I mean, if you could just quickly list them that these are must reads and parents should definitely get a hold on to these books.
I somehow don't like to categorize for boys, not for. I mean,
Yeah,
things like
yeah,
that.
that's true.
But
That's true.
boys seem to love Secret Sevens and that whole series of Secret Seven. Harry Potter's at this age, boys are loving it.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
see a lot. I see that you mentioned a lot of Indian authors. So any particular, I mean, is there a reason why, I mean, 4 out of 5 of your books were Indian authors?
um, see, like a lot of people, even though I said Enid Blyton,
Yeah.
um, if you look at her that kind of writing, it's a bit dated, and
Yeah.
it's not of a place that we can't easily relate to when we're sitting here.
Yeah.
So if you start with an Indian author, you're looking at your surrounding and you're immediately connecting with what you're reading. So
Right.
that kind of, kind of transports you to the world of the book immediately.
Awesome. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Also, do you read? I mean, do you subscribe or do you propagate audiobooks? I mean, a lot of parents have suggested that when boys don't like to read, they just kind of have audiobooks playing, and that's a great way to start.
Yes, honestly, I haven't used audiobooks because I love reading out loud myself.
Okay.
And luckily, I have a little bit of time. But for parents who don't have too much time to sit down and read for their children, I have seen that audiobooks do work wonders.
Right.
Um, Technically, because they're reading it the right way. In the audiobook, they have all the expressions and they have the emphasis at the right places. So it's being read professionally and properly.
Right.
So the kids are listening to the right kind of pronunciations and the right kind of emotions coming out. So that is one advantage of having an audiobook. And
Right.
also, if it's playing in the background while the kids are doing something else, they're still, it's
This
hitting
still,
their ears.
yeah, sure. And also, one last question: have you considered, because both your boys and your husband and you are avid readers, have you considered giving the boys the Kindle yet, or not yet?
With Kindle, honestly, I have just got my hands on a Kindle, so I'm just starting to, get used to it. But
Okay.
I still love the feel of real books. I
Okay.
mean, the way the pictures come out in real books, and see, they are still now transitioning to chapter books and things. So maybe yes, if it's purely text and lots of chapter books, then yes, I'm sure the Kindle will work.
Yeah,
But
because all of us are only complaining about space, space, and more space, right? I
I
mean,
know I am complaining as well.
right. So that was great. Thank you so much, Shachii,
I'd
for
like to
doing
say one more thing. I have come up with a reading challenge because we didn't know what to read.
right.
We were immersed in Greek mythology, and I said, you have to get out of this and read something else. So we
Okay.
came up with a list of, it's just a random list, like a book about a famous Indian, a book with a blue cover, or a book with a number in its title, or a silly poem. So it's a list that we just go down the list, pick one
Right.
category, try to find a book or an article related to that, read it, and then check it off. So we know we're reading other things around as well.
That's a
And
great idea. We're gonna
yeah,
post that link and that picture under this video, Shachii, so it'll be easy for everybody to kind of click on it and print it out.
I'll do that. Everybody must print this out, and they can always make their own versions if they want to challenge their kids to read a book that's 100 pages and over. Put it on this list.
Wow.
Whatever they can think of. But this is my list, so
Okay.
I will share it with everybody.
Thank you
And
so much.
thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Shachii. It was such a pleasure having you, and I look forward to more books from you.
Absolutely. I'm trying to work on them.
Awesome.
Thank
See
you,
you. Bye.
Manik, for having me. Bye.